Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about this embarrassment of a game. Game 52 of the regular season. Rangers lose 3-0 against the Islanders. We've been shut out in back-to-back games against the Islanders. And this is Semyon Varlamov's fourth shutout of the Rangers this year! This year alone. And I'm mad that we played so poorly. But I understand you're missing two of your top four defensemen. You're missing the person who's tied for the team lead in goals in Chris Kreider. So I get that. But my God, it just looked like we didn't care tonight. It looked like we had fully given up. Like we understood, well, the chance to make the playoffs now was 0.4% going into the game. So it just looked like we were like, well, it's over. And look, I understand thinking that, but these are still important minutes to be played. You can still progress things a little bit more right now. And to just give up the way we did tonight, or it certainly felt like, just sucked. It was just embarrassing, to be honest, for the Rangers. They looked like they had completely checked out, like they were planning their offseason. And it showed. A 3-0 loss, a waterboarding by the Islanders. Our defense looked awful, and I understand that, you're missing two of your top four. Doesn't change the fact that it looked bad. The offense couldn't do anything. We somehow outshot them in this game, which I don't understand how, because it felt like they dominated a play. We outshot them, but it felt like we could never really set up zone time, which was, it was just a bad game. It was a really bad game by the Rangers. There were 3 goals. There was a Bavillier goal at 4:19 gone. There was a breakaway that you gave up to Matt Barzal, which, what do you think is going to happen? And in the second period, with 1:02 gone, there was another goal by Anthony Bavillier, who is becoming a bit of a Ranger killer. But not the biggest Ranger killer on the Islanders. Oh, no. It is Semyon Varlamov, who is the true Ranger killer with his 4th shutout of the Rangers this year alone. And, man, I did not go into the season expecting playoffs. And after, the halfway mark, I really didn't expect playoffs. And then the last, 25 games happened, where they looked great. They looked like an incredible team. They started climbing up the power rankings. Mika Zibanejad became an absolute monster on offense again. Artemi Panarin was picking up his 1.5 per game pace that he was at last year, and, this year to continue on. So he was dominating. Capo Caca, while not getting on the score sheet, was starting to dominate physically. Adam Fox was having, and I still think had, a Norris caliber season. Igor Shesterkin was playing so well that if he didn't have that 9-game stretch where he was injured, probably is nominated or maybe even wins the Calder. And it didn't matter, because now, even after that 7-2 run, where it was really, really fun, you lose back-to-back games against the Islanders. And more than that, you get shut out in both of them. Which is that is the biggest embarrassment of the season, that you're getting shut out in back-to-back games. I understand Semyon Varlamov is a good goalie. I understand that the Islanders are a good team. You got shut out in back-to-back games. That's unacceptable. That you couldn't net a single goal is laughable. It really is. And I want to be mad, but I don't know. I don't feel angry. During the game, I was so fired up. And all I could think of is I am going to just come on here and scream for 10, 15 minutes. And I don't feel like it. I don't, for the lone reason of I still view this season as a win for the Rangers. I still think this was a success because you had a lot of players grow. I thought most of them grew, especially after the halfway point. After game 30 to now has been a very, very good stretch of games for the Rangers. And so for those games alone, I think it's been a success. And if you could at least salvage some of these last few games against the Capitals and the Bruins, or at least, put up good goal totals in them, that'd be a good way to finish the season. And that's what you have to look at now. How do you want to finish? How do you want to cross the finish line? Do you want to cross it by seemingly not caring, or do you want to gain things to finish it? I want the younger players to get tons of ice time. I want Kako, I want Lafreniere, I want Hedel, I want Kravtsov. I want all of them to get top 6 minutes in the last 2 games. Now, I don't want to just hang them out there to dry against 2 really good teams in the Capitals, who are probably going to be the 1 seed, or at least very well could be the 1 seed for the East this season, and the Bruins, who are going to make the playoffs and are seemingly always a good team. So I'm not saying, put them out there for 25 minutes, but I'd like to see them all 4 get at least 18 minutes a game for the last 4. I think that's fair to say. I want to see some of the younger defensemen, Zach Jones specifically. I want him to get a lot more ice time in the last few games. And again, don't just hang him out there to dry, but I would like to see it upped maybe from, I want to get his ice time for tonight really quickly. He had 17:41, so that's not bad. If you have a few more games like this, 17, 18 minutes of ice time around there, I think that'd be pretty good. And I'm perfectly fine at this point if you just split the time between Georgiev and Shesterkin. If you give them both 2 more games, I think that's fine. Maybe start Shesterkin in to Monday's game and the Thursday game against the Bruins. So start each of them and then have Georgiev do the others. I think that's fine. I also want to say this. If anyone has a nagging injury, like I know Mika Zibanejad early in the game today got elbowed really hard in the face. If there's any concern, just don't worry about it. We're not going to compete at this point. So if anyone has a nagging injury, give them the time off. I don't want to see Howden back this season. I don't want to see Lindgren. I don't want to see Trouba. And to be quite honest, I almost don't want to say I don't want to see Kreider. If they have any potential injuries that could get any worse if you rush them back, it's okay. It's 4 games. They had good seasons, except for Howden. Just let them have the rest of it off and worry about next season, which next season is actually in October because it is slated to start on time, which is very exciting. But that's all I got. I mean, this was a rough game, and it's been a rough 2 games to score no goals. That's not a lot of fun to talk about. When the only 7 goals you're discussing are all by the opposition and you score nothing. That isn't exactly a fun time to talk about. So that's all I have. We play Washington Monday at 7 in Madison Square Garden for our second to last home game. And I will be here after that. Again, sorry if I'm not exactly upbeat, but I am just kind of a mixture of angry and just depressed about this game. In the past 2, to be exact, which I've said a lot. So that's all I have. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Rangers.